is a big game for both occasions. Not long to go until the start of that game. Both teams have made 2 changes within their squad. The main one comes in for Ivory Coast, who made 2 changes since they beat Guinea-Bissau. They brought in their captain, Sergio Herrera, and they've also managed to bring in some of their other players as well into the squad. So there'll be a few familiar faces that you can recognise within this Ivory Coast team and even across the game itself coming up against Nigeria. So there'll be huge expectations for them coming into this game, and they'll be hoping to take something from Nigeria. They've won this tournament before again, but they haven't won it in 40 years, and they are the host nation coming into this game. Now, if you look into Nigeria's squad themselves, they've also made 2 changes, both within the midfield. In comes Fulham's Calvin Bassey, so we've got some Premier League experience coming in there. Samuel Chikau, who's moved to Milan in the summer after 5 years at Villarreal, has also moved into the squad. He comes in for winger Moses Simon, who is not going to be in the squad, and ultimately Al Hassan Yusuf was injured in the last game, so he won't be within that team. But yeah, both very excited teams coming into this game, but I think most of the eyes are going to be on Victor Osimhen, an African talent that has been exceptional throughout this year. He did score in their last game, and he'll be hoping to get another one in and ultimately get that win against Nigeria.
Yeah, there is that goal that we saw. So expectations.
Now, that clip there was exactly what Joey Barton is talking about. That's his point. DEI, or diversity, equity and inclusion, is not working. It is pointless and hopeless to hire people, employ people simply because they tick relevant woke boxes. People ought to be hired on merit, because it's meritocracy that takes a business or a company forward. If you go woke, you go broke, as seen here. Now, having looked into this, it's hard to tell who this woman is, because by all accounts she's either a YouTuber or she's actually hired by Sky Sports, and Sky Sports have deleted that clip because it's so embarrassing. There are 4 screw-ups in that clip. She gets the names of footballers wrong, and she gets the stats wrong. And I'm not even a fan of football anymore, but even I can tell it's a disaster. And that poor guy there stood with her. You can see he's looking into the camera as if to ask for help, and even he has got no idea what the hell she's talking about. And he can't even interject because she stood there rocking back and forth. She's mumbling and she's talking too fast, so he can't jump in and correct her, which she needs desperately. Now, the sad thing about this is there are men out there who would give their eye teeth, who are passionate about football, about the sport, who would love to do that job, but they can't because they don't tick the relevant boxes. And it's nothing about skin colour or racism or culture. It's about the ability to do the job. And the woman in this clip clearly just hasn't got a clue what she's doing. And the person who hired her, they've got some serious questions to answer. Of course, this is ongoing between Enyaluko and Joey Barton, and Enyaluko replying to everything that he said about her by saying she's left the country, she's fled the UK because of what he said for some reason, and she feels her life is in danger. Good grief. But it turns out Enyaluko is anything but a poor race victim. She's quite privileged. Her dad is a Nigerian senator. They emigrated to England, obviously. They have a huge house in Wentworth, and they own 3 Rolls Royces. Now, she was privately educated in St Mary's in Ascot, and she is a qualified lawyer, so, you know. And having seen clips of her playing football, she is quite atrocious, actually. And she can't seem to kick a ball more than 50 yards without it bouncing. Now, I'm not suggesting anything here, but, rich dad and money talks. I remember my short stint in Sandhurst teaching the GPMG machine gun to the officer cadets, and there were foreign officer cadets there who were from wealthy Arab families. And these boys were thick as mince. They had no idea how to dress themselves, look after themselves, or do anything for themselves. But these Arabian royal families, they pay good money to the British Army to make sure they get through the 44-week course and end up with a commission. So there we go. I'll leave that with you. Make of it what you will. And this diversity, equity and inclusivity, DEI nonsense is spreading even to airline companies now, where they're hiring them as pilots simply because they tick boxes. And if you don't believe me, look it up. I personally don't care what colour you are if you fly a plane that I'm a passenger on, but for heaven's sake, be qualified and know what you're doing on merit. And that's that. I'm Paz49. Thanks for listening. And until the next time, Roger Trout.